Our story for today is called Tom, and it's by Tomie to Paola. This is my first time reading this one. I'm excited. I got it out of a little free library in front of a school. Tommie's grandfather always used to say, "We're named after each other, Tomie. That's why I want you to call me Tom instead of Grandpa." So Tomie did. Oh, I missed the dedication. It says, "For my sisters, Maureen, Modine, and Julie, Bobby, and my cousins, Mary Downey, Mullivase, and Sheila Woods." All right, so his grandfather wants him to call him Tom because they have the same name. Tomie and his family went to visit Tom and Nana almost every Sunday. Nana was Tommie's grandmother. And every Sunday, for as long as Tomie could remember, Tom read the Sunday comics out loud. Tom used different voices, which made Tomie laugh and laugh. Sometimes Tom acted out funny poems. Tommie's favorite was the animal fair. So that's our first page. "I went to the animal fair. The birds and the beasts were there. The big baboon by the light of the moon would comb out his golden hair. Tom would pretend to comb and comb long, long hair. And he was bald." You see him? Tomie would get the giggles, and as Tom went on, he giggled louder and louder. Sometimes he would squeal and laugh so loud that Tom would start laughing too. "Tom Downey," Nana would say, "you're just as bad as that child." Sometimes, if they were really loud, Nana would say, "Tom Downey, you're just as bad as that child and the Downeys and the rest of the Irish." Yes, she was really mad at him that. When that happened, and it was winter, Tom would say, "Come on, Tomie, let's go to the cellar and shake and sift the ashes." Tom and Nana had a big coal furnace, and Tom would shake the ashes to keep the coal burning. "Now we'll sift the ashes to get rid of the clinkers, and we'll save the ashes to put on the sidewalk if it gets icy." Then Tom and Tomie would sit down near the warm furnace. Tom would light his corncob pipe. Nana wouldn't let him smoke it upstairs. And he would begin telling stories, some about himself when he was a little boy and some that he made up. Tomie loved those the best. If it was not winter, they would just sit outside the cellar door and talk. As you can see, they would do it then. Once they went next door to the Lubies and saw their puppies. "Those are firehouse dogs," Tom told Tomie. "Your great Uncle Jim had one when he was the fire chief. His name was Sparky, and when the siren went off, he would run alongside the fire engine all the way to the fire." Those dogs are also called Dalmatians. Tom and Nana had a grocery store. Nana was in charge of the front of the store. Tomie helped put the cans of food on the shelves just the way Nana wanted them, nice and neat with the labels facing out. Tom was in charge of the back of the store. He was a butcher, and behind the counter was Tom's butcher table, where he cut up the meat for the customers. So she does the front, the cans, and he does the meat in the back. Next to that was the big grinding machine. Tom would grind up pieces of meat into hamburger. Tomie liked to help him. "Be careful now," Tom always said. "I don't want any fingers in my hamburger." Sometimes when Tomie was there, Mrs. Novak brought in the chickens that his grandfather would sell. Their feathers were all plucked, but their heads and feet were still on. Tom would take his cleaver and whoop, off came the head, and whoop, whoop, off came the feet. Once Tom gave Tomie a chicken head to take home. "See this?" he told Tom. "Well, if you plant it in the garden and don't disturb it for 3 weeks, you'll have a chicken bush." Tomie put it in a bag and tied it with string. What do you think? Is it going to grow a chicken bush? Tomie couldn't wait to get home and bury it, but after only 3 days, he dug it up to see if anything was happening. The next weekend, when Tomie told Tom that nothing was growing, Tom said, "Too bad. It will only work once." He knew that Tomie couldn't wait 3 weeks without looking. "But let me show you something else." And he picked up a chicken foot. "See that little white string? It's called a tendon. If you pull it, the chicken foot opens and closes. Try it." Tomie tried. It was scary, but it made him giggle. Tom put 2 chicken feet in a bag and tied it with string. When Tomie got home, he washed the chicken feet with soap and a scrub brush because they were kind of smelly. Then he asked his mother if he could borrow some of her nail polish. What for? His mom asked. It's a secret, Tomie told her. All right, but don't spill it. What do you think he's going to do? Do you see the chicken feet behind his back? Tomie picked the brightest red and painted the claws on the chicken feet. All right, there he is. He's painting the chicken claws. All weekend, Tomie practiced holding a foot in each hand and pulling the tendons. The chicken feet opened and closed. Grunge. So he's making them dance. On Monday morning, Tomie hid the chicken feet in his pocket and went to school. His best friend, Jeannie, was standing in the schoolyard. Tomie held a chicken foot in each hand and pulled his hands up into his sleeve so only the chicken feet stuck out. Then he put his arms in back of him. All right, do you see the pictures? He's getting ready. There she is waiting. He has them in his sleeves. He pulled his hands up, and now it's just the chicken feet hanging out. Hi, Jeannie, Tom said. Hi, Jeannie answered. Grunge. Eek! She screeched. So he's pretending that the chicken feet are his hands. 3 girls turned around to look. Grunge, went Tomie and the chicken feet. Eek, 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 screeched all the girls. Tomie turned. Grunge. Screech? It was the teacher. Tomie spent the whole morning in the principal's office. She threw away his chicken feet and sent him home with a note. It says, Tomie is not allowed to bring chicken feet to school ever again. Miss Burke, principal. She's not allowed to bring chicken feet to school. The next weekend, when Tomie went to visit Tom and Nana, Tomie told Tom all about it. Well, Tom said, we'll just have to think of something else to do, don't you think? No more chicken feet. And Tom gave Tomie a big wink. All right, that was called Tom. It was Tomie to Paola. On the back cover, it says, it's a delightful offbeat vignette of boyish mischief, reinforcing the bond between generations. De Paula champions the special relationships he had with his grandfather. Youngsters will bask in the delicious conspiracy between grandfather and grandson. This book is a treasure. The third one says, with gentle humor and his usual mastery of line and composition, De Paula conveys the strong bond of affection between Tom and little Tomie, from the photo album snapshot of the proud grandfather holding a baby on the title page to the big hug of the mischief makers that ends the book. And touches of old world humor add sparkle to this tale. So those were from 4 different reviewers. And there's that picture that they were just talking about. The photograph of him holding the baby and the special bond they had. Thank you for listening.